Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put you on mute, sir, and we're gonna get ready to start here in just very shortly. Thank you. Okay, Jen, go ahead and hit record. It's 10 a.m. and we're going to begin. And there might be some stragglers entering from the waiting room in the next couple minutes. We'll just begin slowly, and as they come in, let them enter the waiting room. Recording is on. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kirk Eller, and I am a CalTAP training coordinator here at the California Department of Veteran Affairs. Thank you for joining us for this CalTAP Employment Apprenticeship Program webinar. We have a very good information for you today. First of all, I want to thank you all for your service to our nation and joining us this morning for this valuable information. We have some really good information for you for apprenticeships. I'm going to start with some housekeeping. Most people now are become familiar with the Zoom platform. COVID-19 has put us in the virtual world. I would like to ask if you could all please keep your videos off and your mutes on so that we can keep the bandwidth up for this webinar. And it also keeps any distractions to a minimum while our presenters are giving you the information. If you're not sure about how to operate the Zoom features, the chat function at the bottom of the toolbar is how we're going to ask any questions. So if you have any questions throughout this webinar, we would ask that you please place your question in the chat to CalTAP questions, and we will direct your question to the appropriate person to answer that question. Today for you, we have some good information from Helmets to Hard Hats, as well as from Farmer Veteran Coalition, and they're going to give you some information on apprentice programs for their resources for their apprenticeship programs. This is the function for the chat feature. If you're not familiar with the Zoom platform, it's at the bottom of the toolbar. And again, my name is Kirk Eller. I am a Marine Corps veteran. I served from 1986 to 1990, and I'm currently working as a CalTAP training coordinator since 2019. And I'd like to begin with going over an overview of what CalTAP is. The CalTAP program was designed to inform, connect veterans of all eras of their earned federal and state benefits and provide continued support and assistance as your needs change over time. And how we do that is through 5 pathways. We have the core curriculum, the education pathway, our employment pathway, entrepreneurship pathway. There's also a service providers pathway that provides information on doing business with CalVet. If you go to search CalTAP or CalVet, go Google search. CalVet comes up ca.gov at the top of the page. And if you click on this highlighted portion here, it will take you to our homepage of our department. On our department homepage, you can access multiple links to various departments throughout our department. The CalTAP banner being here on the right. At the bottom of the page, you can access information about our veteran resource book under the publications portion. So if you look at the highlighted portion here, you can click on this and you can actually find our veterans resource book, which is what this looks like right here. I highly recommend that you take this information and you click on it. I think my colleague Jen is going to be putting the link in the chat, and you can actually download this PDF version of the resource book so that you have access to all the information that we're provided here for you today. For the overview, this is what the snapshot of the Veterans Resource Book looks like. So how can you use CalTAP online? Under the CalTAP banner, if you click on the CalTAP portion, it will take you to the CalTAP page. And we're going to talk about the core curriculum pathway, which has all of your California specific benefits in it. Click on that portion. Under Module 5 is the California specific benefits. But there are other modules throughout each pathway, and they're self-paced learning modules that you can go through and find various information on resources and information on specifics that you see here. But for this purpose, we're going to talk about the California specific benefits, which is under Module 5. This is a snapshot of what the PDF version of the pathway looks like. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. So what are your California benefits? So your California benefits in the resource book start in Chapter 1 on page 13. And this is another snapshot of what your California benefits overview would look like from the book. One of the most popular benefits for California is the college tuition fee waiver. And what this tuition fee waiver is if you're an eligible veteran with a service-connected disability from the VA of 0 to 100%, your dependents can attend a state-funded school, whether it's a UC, California State, or a community college, and the tuition fee is waived. And they do this through a doctorate, which saves veterans millions of dollars a year for this benefit. It's an outstanding program. If you have any questions about this, please put it in the chat, or I highly encourage you to go to our website and look up which plan you may be eligible for, because there are various plans available. We also have DMV programs for California veterans. If you have a service-connected disability rating of 50% or higher, if you have a service-connected disability of 100%, you may be eligible for motor vehicle registration fee waivers. And there's also veterans designations on your driver's license, and you can also look and apply for honoring veterans license plates or special interest license plates, such as a Purple Heart or a special unit license plate. Outdoor activities are also popular. Reduced fees for hunting and fishing licenses, as well as reduced fees for state park pass. There is an eligibility for these based on your service-connected disability rating of a 50% or higher. California also has tax programs for disabled veterans. You may be eligible if you have a 100% service-connected disability from the VA. You may be eligible for property tax exemption on your home or a business license tax and exemption fee. There's also a disabled veteran business enterprise program that enables disabled veterans to have to earn resources to contract with state entities or businesses. CalVet Home Loans is also a popular benefit for veterans here in the state of California. We actually have our own program coming up in the future webinar for CalVet Home Loans, and you can access that information on our website. CalVet Women Veterans is also very popular, which provide information and advocacy, as well as outreach and support to California women veterans. And they also partner with the California Women's Veterans Leadership Council. This is the Women's Veterans webpage, and you can actually enter and sign up for a women's roster, and you can get information of upcoming events throughout the year. CalVet Minority Veterans, they also provide information and advocacy, as well as outreach and support to minority veterans. And they help with unnaturalized veterans in California with citizenship and also naturalization services. And this is what their webpage looks like on our homepage. They also have a roster that you can sign up for. We also have CalVet Homes for long-term care. There are 8 homes throughout the state of California that offers veterans medical, dental, and pharmacy, as well as rehabilitation and social activities for our veterans. There are 3 state cemeteries throughout the state, where there's one in Seaside at the coast, as well as one up north in Redding, and there's another one attached to the Yountville Veterans Home in Yountville. Other common websites that we may be interested in, obviously the VA, you can access information for healthcare, disability, records, and education. And to register for any of those benefits, you would go to the eBenefits and log in and create an account there. You can actually manage your benefits through this webpage. If you have healthcare and you sign up for the My Health IVet, you can actually have access to your health records, message your doctor, make appointments, as well as any pharmaceutical or prescription needs that you have. That's it for the basic overview for the California benefits. This is my contact information, and our 800 number is listed there. If you have any questions for any of those programs that I just mentioned, I know I went over them rather quickly, but I want to give our speakers some time so they can go over their material. Here's my email address, or you can address the questions in the chat, and we will get to our answers at the Q&A at the end of this session. Thank you for your time, and I'm going to turn it over now to our local interagency network coordinator, Cole Wagner. Good morning, Cole.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's good to virtually see all of you here. I'm really excited about this webinar. Apprenticeship programs are something that are near and dear to my heart, especially as somebody who ended up in the Army because maybe college wasn't for me. And so if you hit the next slide, Kirk, I'll talk about what links do and what I do as a link. So the link is kind of a long title, Local Interagency Network Coordinator. Basically, it means I help connect veterans to their benefits. I help teach them about their benefits, understand where to get access to them. And I help resources connect to other resources. So folks that are doing stuff for veterans throughout the state, make sure we're all on the same page, working towards the same goal. As you can see from the map on the state, on the screen, we're a statewide program. There are 8 link regions throughout the state. My region is the Northern California region up there at the top in the orange. But if you're zooming in from somewhere else in California, there's a local interagency network coordinator like me that understands what the veteran services are in your region. As most of you know, the veteran services available in something like Shasta County up north in far North California would be a lot different from the resources available in San Diego County. And so that's why the link is an important resource for veterans in the state so that they can understand how to get access to these veteran benefits where they live, not necessarily just knowing that they exist, but knowing how to get access to them. Next slide, please, Kurt. So what do we really do? We provide outreach to service members, veterans, and their families, much like this, where we're kind of teaching you guys about what benefits are available, make referrals, and work directly with established service providers. So if you have a question, you need access to a service, you're having trouble getting a hold of somebody, that's kind of what we do, is we help smooth out any ripples in the landscape and help make direct contact with folks to help get you what you need. Next slide, please. So some of the folks we work with as far as employment and training would be Employment Development Department, the America's Job Centers of California, programs like Work for Warriors, programs like we're going to see today, like the Farmer Veteran Coalition and Helmets to Hard Hats, and then California state benefits through the County Veteran Service Officers programs, through us at CalVet in the VA regional offices, the healthcare through the VA medical care system, education benefits through GI Bill or through any one of the state funded schools like California community colleges, UCs, or CSUs. Next slide, please. And so this is my contact information. I believe they're going to send out the map of all the other links in the state. And so if you have a question for somebody, the link in your region, just send them an email and they'll be able to direct you to where you need to go. You can see on the screen there, that's my email address and my mobile number. So if you have a question and you can't find the link map or can't figure out who you need to go to, just let me know and then I'll direct you where you need to go. And so with that, like I said, I'm very excited. I'll turn it back over to Kirk, who can turn it over to our featured presenters.
Thanks, Cole. We appreciate everything that you do. Yes, we have Helmets to Hard Hats are here, and Nick Weathers is going to be presenting for them and giving you all the information on how you can apply for his apprenticeship programs. Nick, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Kirk. First off, thank you, Kirk and Cole, and to everybody at CalTAP for including Helmets to Hard Hats. We do appreciate it. to everybody, to all the veterans that are listening, I appreciate your time and your interest as well. My name, let's go back one, Kirk. Let's keep that under wraps here. So my name is Nick Weathers. Like they said, I'm with the Helmets to Hard Hats program. And essentially I have three things that I kind of wanted to drive home today. And those are, I want to talk about quality careers in the construction industry. Number two would be explain why trade union apprenticeships are the best way to access these careers. And then the third thing is just to kind of familiarize you with Helmets to Hard Hats and, kind of tell you how we can help in that process. So next slide, Kirk. So with the Helmets to Hard Hats program, we represent the different union construction trades, right? There's 15 different international unions, and from these different organizations, we basically cover all areas of construction, from the logistics. Usually it goes like heavy equipment, foundation, structural, and then the different mechanical crafts usually finish it off, right? Your electrical, your piping, stuff like that. So all of these different trades and careers are covered. All of them kind of follow a similar model where they all offer middle-class wages, which you will access through the apprenticeship. They all include health insurance for the entire family, which gets paid for by your employer. So if you're familiar with the way health insurance works, none of that comes out of your pocket. The whole family is covered by your employer. It's a really good benefit. And then the final thing is retirement. All of these different trade unions offer pensions, which are definitely different than like matching 401k or something like that. The compensation is a pretty big deal. So these are all kind of part of the package that a union construction trade would offer. Next slide. And so the way to get into them and the way to learn these trades is apprenticeship. The model of apprenticeship, they say earn while you learn, which means you don't have to have any of these skills to do the job. To get into the apprenticeship, all you need is the willingness to learn, the ability to work hard, and that's it. They'll teach you the rest. So whether you want to be an electrician, a pipe fitter, an iron worker, the apprenticeship teaches you those skills and you get paid while you learn them. The apprenticeships are 3 to 5 years in length, depending on which trade you go to. And you'll get raises every 6 months in the apprenticeship. So you can count on 2 raises a year for the length of the apprenticeship. And then when you're done and you graduate, that's what they refer to as becoming a journey worker. Once you're a journey worker, that skill can never be taken away from you. Once you learn how to harness electricity, or once you become a master welder, or whatever these trades are, you can essentially go anywhere and find work for that. You can support your family very handsomely off of these skills. The other thing to mention, which I think I have on another slide, is all of these different apprenticeships qualify for the GI Bill. So if you don't have a GI Bill, you don't need it. The apprenticeships are free. But if you do still have GI Bill availability, you can collect that in the form of the monthly housing allowance. And that goes on top of your hourly wages, medical benefits, retirement, stuff like that. So if you have no plans on going to college, if the trades is what you want to do, it's a very good way to utilize that GI Bill benefits and set yourself up for success. You can use that money to, buy a house or whatever, you choose. So, next slide. So apprenticeable crafts, that's something I think I've mentioned a couple of times. What we mean by that is that each one of these different international unions, they have multiple apprenticeship routes. So they have different apprenticeships that you can apply for. And for example, like the plumbers and pipe fitters, they have 5 separate apprenticeships, right? The sprinkler fitter apprenticeship would be one. They have an HVAC apprenticeship. The carpenters, they have a lot of them as well. They have the pile drivers, they have millwrights, floor coverers, sheet metal workers. They have, architectural sheet metal workers, commercial sheet metal workers, stuff like that. So within these different international unions, there's a whole bunch of different routes that you can go. Next slide. So who we are, Helmets to Hard Hats, we are a national nonprofit program. We are funded directly by the trade unions and their contractors. And so that's what we do. Oh, next slide. I'm going too fast here. So our mission statement, we assist military service members and veterans in connecting to quality careers in construction. So you'll see our map here in a little bit, but essentially this is our job. We go to active duty bases, you know, National Guard units, stuff like that. And we assist veterans in this process. Next slide. So like I just said, what we do, most of our time pre-COVID was spent traveling. I'm the Northwest regional manager, so I would go up to JBLM every couple weeks. You know, real close to me is Travis Air Force Base. We spend our time on active duty bases, National Guard units, reserve, you know, state events, stuff like that, just trying to educate service members. Next it. So the education, we just want veterans to know that these careers exist. We want them to know that the apprenticeships don't require them to have all the knowledge beforehand. These are middle-class wages that everybody has access to, and it's really a great alternative for a good life. And then the final thing is the connection. We try to make that connection. It works differently in the different areas, but we kind of, you know, just jack of all trades and just help veterans make that connection. Next slide. In addition, we put this in because in addition to the apprenticeships, which are the bread and butter of all these different trade unions, but in addition to that, there's still this other section of the construction industry, which is project managers, safety positions, estimators, and some of the veterans that we work with, either they've went to school and they've, you know, have a project management degree, or while they were in the service, they already did this. Maybe they helped build bases overseas. Sometimes officers automatically have, you know, this experience kind of built into their pathway. So these are other connections we can help make in, you know, so to speak, the front offices of these companies. We can help connect you if that's what you're looking for as well. Next slide. So this is the next few slides. This is just going to kind of run through. If you're interested, go to our website. Everything starts at our website, which is helmetstohardhats.org. You can click there and learn more, or, you know, the next button over is register now. Once you register, you'll be able to see a lot of these, you know, what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Kirk, next slide. So you'll just kind of follow the prompts, right? You register as a veteran career seeker, fill in the information. We don't ask for anything sensitive. We don't want your social. We don't want anything like that. But just the basics. It's going to ask you a little bit about your service. I will say right now, I'll take the time to say the one requirement that our program has, and this is because a lot of these union trades, they're giving out kind of preference. They're kind of streamlining this process for veterans. And so the one requirement that we have is that when you got discharged, the discharge has to be a general under honorable or an honorable or a medical. So I'll put that out there right now. But other than that, that's the only requirement. No, you know, no requirement on the time since you've left service or anything like that. Next slide. So once you register and it's going to prompt you to start your career search, this is what's going to pop up. I just did a little screenshot from Sacramento here where I'm at, and it's just going to bring up the different trades, you know, cement masons, we got glaziers, carpenters, stuff like that. And then if you click on one of those opportunities, what you're going to see on the right-hand side is what that listing should look like. And this is only like the first page of 3 pages of the listing. But essentially, it's going to say, hey, if you're interested in the carpenter's apprenticeship, this is how you would apply. You know, this is the website to go to. They also come with videos and stuff like that. So it'll teach you more about what a day in the life of is if you're not familiar with those trades. Next slide. And then once you have your account created, from your homepage on our website in the lower left, you'll see that those are the regional representatives' contact information. So if you're like Fresno or anywhere north, my information will pop up there for you. If you're in Kern County or south, Quincy Lunford is our Southern California representative, and so his information would pop up there as well. Next slide. So this is our regional map. This just kind of gives an idea, huge territories, but essentially what this really means is these are just where we go to active duty bases, and also that would be pre-COVID, right? But when we were still able to travel, this is where we would go, getting on the different installations and trying to make contact with the transitioning service members. Next slide. Yeah, I also mentioned earlier that you can use the GI Bill. You can get that housing allowance in any of these apprenticeships. All of them, they pay out as an E5 with dependents is how that monthly housing allowance pays out. And it goes by, the rate is determined by the location of the training center of your trade. And sometimes that works out pretty good. If you're anywhere near like a big city, a lot of the training centers are in the big cities, and that's kind of where the that housing allowance goes up a little bit. So if you play around with that, sometimes it can be quite beneficial. Next slide. And here's our information. So on top, this is my information. That's my cell phone and that's my email. And then below, that is my coworker's cell phone and email. I think Quincy is on vacation this week. We're getting towards the end of the year. So I think me and my coworkers have been kind of burning up our vacation time. So if you don't get a hold of him, feel free to give me a call. But any questions you have, feel free to reach out to us. I know a lot of the veterans that we were working with, COVID has been weird, right? Trying to get into a new career, although you may have the time to do the research, getting on and getting started is sometimes complicated. And the construction industry isn't that different. That is the case in some of the trades, but a lot of these trades that we represent are still rolling right along. So the opportunities are there. And even if it's a trade like the electricians, in a lot of places, they've had some people laid off. And so they're just kind of holding their apprenticeship, period back until the new year. But it's a great time to prepare for the entrance exam that they have and to kind of get your ducks in a row. So even the trades that are slow, I encourage you to reach out to us and we can help, set you up for success when they do start taking applications again. So that's all I can think of off the top of my head. You have my contact information, and if there's anything else, please, or feel free to ask right now, however works best. So thank you very much for your time, and everybody have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Nick. That's great information. Again, if you have any interest in the apprenticeships that Nick just mentioned, contact him and he can get you in touch with the appropriate people. Thank you, Nick, for joining us. And if you have any questions for Nick, we can he can answer them in the chat, or we can address them at the end at the Q&A session. Now we're going to turn it over to Marie McIntyre for the Farmer Veteran Coalition. Marie, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Kirk. Thank you so much for the invitation to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. We are very pleased to have you. This is some important, valuable information. So I will turn it over to you. Let me know when you want me to advance the slides.
Great. So good morning, everyone. My name is Marie McIntyre. I am with Farmer Veteran Coalition. Just to do kind of a quick overview of my little agenda for today. I will share a little bit about Farmer Veteran Coalition, and then I will speak about a specific training opportunity that is here in California. And before we get to all of that, I'll share a little bit about myself. As you see on the slides, I am a veteran myself. I served in the Army for 8 years. I did several deployments, a total of 27 months in combat. I am married to an Army veteran as well. He actually lost both of his legs in Afghanistan in 2012, and he turned to agriculture as a way to find that new purpose. And so now he's a beekeeper here in Northern California, which, if you know anything about Northern California beekeeping, it's definitely what you want to do with all the almond orchards up here. So it's been a great little adventure for us. And it ultimately led me to work for Farmer Veteran Coalition, because Farmer Veteran Coalition helped my family. And so whenever the opportunity presented itself to work for an organization that I fell in love with, I was just really excited to be a part of that. So now I serve as the veteran service provider here at Farmer Veteran Coalition. And I've been fortunate to be involved in the veteran community in various capacities, but definitely the farmer veteran community is my favorite role. Next slide. So Farmer Veteran Coalition is a national nonprofit. We are a membership organization. We don't charge membership dues or application fees or anything like that. We don't charge for any of the services or programs we provide. We do have 24,000 members nationwide in all 50 states. And we have state chapters as a way of connecting veterans to one another in specific areas, because frankly, agriculture looks different depending on the area that you live in. So, you know, beekeeping in Northern California is quite different from beekeeping in Michigan. So we have state chapters as a way to just connect veterans on that local level. Next slide, please. Farmer Veteran Coalition as a whole, we serve veterans of all branch, all eras, and we also serve veterans, farmers that are in any type of agriculture. Agriculture is a huge industry and it covers many different things. And so one way that we support farmer veteran business owners is through our fellowship fund, and then another way is through our Homegrown by Heroes label. So our fellowship fund is a grant of up to $5,000 to a farmer veteran who is at the beginning of their farm business. And if they need an additional resource to purchase equipment or supplies for their farm business, the fellowship fund is a way to do that. And so it's one of our most popular programs. It's a way for us to directly help veterans that have their own farm business. And, you know, it's a challenge to own a business, especially right now, you know, during COVID, but we're here to help in that manner. And then in our Homegrown by Heroes label is the official farmer veteran brand of America. And essentially it's a little label that you can either use, that a farmer veteran can use on their product, or they can use it on their website as a digital label. And it just lets the community know that they're purchasing a product grown by a farmer veteran. And we actually have partnerships with 20 different state Department of Ags to promote this label and just get the veteran product out there to the community. So it offers a way for the community to support farm veteran business owners. Next slide, please. But maybe, you know, farmer veterans might not want to own their own business. You know, it's a challenge owning your own business, but especially in agriculture. You know, there's a huge, it costs a lot of money to get started, and obviously you have to take big risks whenever you own a business in general, but especially in agriculture. So, you know, there are other opportunities for farmer veterans who maybe don't want to own their own business. Maybe they just want to work on a farm. Maybe they're not sure yet. So our member support services, we help the farmer veteran figure that out through career counseling. Maybe you just got out of the military and you're like my husband, who didn't know a darn thing about agriculture, never did any type of agriculture in his life, and then just needed something new to do. And so we help talk you through kind of what your ideas are, what you want to do, what your goals are, and we can help plan your career. We also do business planning. If you know for sure you want to own your own business, then we can help look at a business plan and help provide links and resource referrals to financial resources to get you started. And then we also have mentorships and membership discounts, and my favorite, education and training resources. And this will lead me to my next slide, where I will talk about the apprenticeship program that is specific to California. So the Beginning Farm and Ranch Manager Apprenticeship Program, it's actually developed through a partnership with the Center for Land-Based Learning. And the Center for Land-Based Learning, they provide educational opportunities in agriculture, not just for veterans, but for the community as a whole. So they manage the curriculum piece of the Beginning Farm and Ranch Manager Apprenticeship Program. This is a registered apprenticeship program, and what that means is that there's an actual board that has to approve of the curriculum, as well as the on-the-job training and all aspects of the apprenticeship program. There's an approval process for. So, it's a very well-established program. It took, several years to get the program established. So there is an approval process for that. It is about a 2-year-long commitment. It is a full-time commitment. It requires full-time work and full-time studying. So it is quite the commitment. But it serves as a pipeline. It gives the veteran opportunity to gain education and experience at the same time, which is pretty unique. And I think that's why apprenticeship programs are unique in themselves. It gives you the opportunity to both learn and gain experience at the same time. And so with the apprenticeship program, it connects apprentices to farm employers that are right here in Northern California. We have farms all over the state that accept our apprentices, and they're happy to help with the on-the-job training portion of the apprenticeship program. And like I said, it prepares the apprentices for a career in farm and ranch management. Next slide, please. So there are 2 pieces to the Beginning Farm and Ranch Management Apprenticeship Program. There are the on-the-job training and then the RSI. So the RSI, the related supplemental instruction, is a minimum of 250 hours of coursework. And it begins with 5 fundamental courses in ag production, which all of our apprentices receive. And then the curriculum is tailored to the apprentice specifically. Depending on what the career goals are, the curriculum is tailored to the apprentice. There is an emphasis on leadership and management because it is a ranch management training program. So you are being trained to be the manager, not just a farm laborer. So there is a management piece to it, which provides a well-rounded curriculum where you're learning about agriculture, but you're also learning about those sometimes harder people-related aspects of management. The tuition and fees are paid for. It's no cost to the apprentice at all. However, if you want to get that stipend using your VA education benefits, you can. We have had veteran apprentices use their VA education benefits, including VOC rehab. So if you if you are eligible for VOC rehab and you're not sure if it applies to this program, it does. You can use it, and then that will give you that stipend. Next slide. So the second piece, the on-the-job training portion, is a total of 3,000 hours of training in specific work process areas. Now, this is paid work. The pay, it varies depending on the farm that you work on, the farm that you get accepted to work on, but it does increase by 50 cents every 6 months. And so you're expected to work 40 hours, at least 40 hours a week, and you are getting paid for that work. And then those process areas such as soil management, tractor skills, pretty much with tractor skills, you're going to learn the basic skills on how to safely operate a tractor and how to do very basic maintenance on a tractor. Planting and pruning trees, you're going to learn techniques and equipment used for planting various crops and for various pruning techniques. Pest and weed management, you will have the ability to identify pests and weeds, and then you will gain knowledge of best practices to deal with those pests. And it varies depending on the farm that you work on. Also, irrigation management, you will learn the basics of pumps and horsepower and well depth and water tables. And forgive me if I'm a little bit too excited about all of that, but it's really neat because irrigation is obviously essential to farming. So you will learn those techniques. And then in addition to that, you learn sales and marketing and employee relations and, regulatory aspects. So the program itself is well-rounded. You're not just going to be put on a farm and expected to be a farm laborer. You are being trained to be the farm manager, the farm and ranch manager. So we incorporate those managerial and regulatory aspects into the program because it's needed. Next slide. So Farmer Veteran Coalition, the role that we play in this, like I said earlier, the Center for Land-Based Learning actually puts together the curriculum, and they coordinate with the farmers to get the apprentice on the farm. Farmer Veteran Coalition acts as a resource for the veteran as they go through the program, both as they go through the program and before they go through the program. So I specifically provide assistance to veterans during the application process. And I do this in primarily two ways. With resume review, because if, like I said, I'm a veteran, we're not always good at writing resumes. It's not something that, at least when I got out of the military, it wasn't something that was really explained very well to me. I worked on a long-range rocket launcher in the military, and I just slapped that on my resume and expected that to fly somewhere. And nobody really told me that doesn't quite work that way. You have to really work on those military skills translation. So that's the second piece of what I do. I help the veteran when they apply for the program, get their resume looking great, because the farmers will actually review your resume, and they will review all of the resumes of the apprentices, and they will be selecting it. I mean, you'll do a job interview and everything. So they're looking at all these resumes, and we want to make sure that your skills and your abilities are highlighted the way they should be on your resume, as well as the application. So sometimes we'll get veterans who will list all these really great skills on their resume, and then there are certain questions on the application that they don't mention those skills. And so I remind them that, hey, this is absolutely a great place to mention that, or vice versa. Sometimes they mention it in their application, and it's a really great thing that they should have on their resume. And so I just kind of let them know that they should put that on their resume as well. So I assist the veteran through the application process. And then Farmer Veteran Coalition, once the veteran is accepted into the apprenticeship program, we offer financial assistance. So like I said, the program is free, but there are sometimes some basic needs that need to be met. Maybe a veteran is having a hard time because they have to drive to work every day. And so, we can provide a financial stipend to help with that additional mileage that's being put on their cars. You're actually going through coursework. You will be going through coursework at a college. It's all online right now. But if you needed a laptop to do that coursework, we would purchase a laptop, and it would be something that the veteran would keep. It's not something that we ask back. So we do provide financial assistance in various ways. We also provide, if you look at this picture on your screen, I know it's probably been a long time since anybody's seen anything like that, but that is from our Farmer Veteran Coalition Stakeholder Conference back in 2019, when we could all gather in a room. And we actually had about 500 people in attendance in that conference. And, it's just a great way to connect veterans with other veterans that are farming, but also other resources. We have many people from the USDA that actually go to our conference. And so one of the things that we do for our apprentices is that we cover the cost for them to attend our 3-day conference. We don't know, obviously we don't know what that's going to look like in 2021, but either way, we cover the cost for the veteran to attend the conference so that they can grow their network and really just learn about the various programs that are out there to support farmer veterans, because there are many programs out there. But I also provide resource referrals. So oftentimes I'll get a veteran apprentice who, sends me a message, and, maybe they're looking for specific information on different loans that they can apply for, different agricultural loans, or maybe they're looking for land. They need land access. I can do that resource referral for them. I can connect them with the resources that they need. So that's really my role. That's Farmer Veteran Coalition's role in the apprenticeship program. We really just provide that support. And, we have veterans on our staff, myself included. So, we understand veterans, and we just have we love our veterans, and we're happy to help. Next slide. So if you are interested in applying, the minimum requirements to apply is that you must be a US resident, you must be eligible to work in the US, you must have a valid driver's license or be able to attain a valid driver's license, and then you must be able to lift up to 30 pounds as part of your daily work. And I think maybe as a veteran, that might be the most difficult part. I know the Army was really rough on our backs and our knees and all of that. But if you have those are the minimum requirements. And I would say from the veteran aspect, you cannot have a dishonorable discharge. Anything else other than a dishonorable discharge is fine. But if you have a dishonorable discharge, unfortunately, you are not able to apply for the apprenticeship program as a veteran. You can still apply for it as not a veteran, but you won't have the veteran support from Farmer Veteran Coalition. The application process, there is a pre-application. We can put the link in the chat. This is on the Center for Land-Based Learning website. And it is just a quick drop down of, a few different questions that they ask. It's actually a really easy, quick application. And then that pre-application gets sent to me from the Center for Land-Based Learning. And then I will contact the veteran and reach out to them to do the resume development and have the veteran complete the full application, which is a much lengthier than the pre-application, and it asks for specific information from the veteran. So I assist the veteran in that piece of it. And then once the veteran and I feel like the application and the resume are strong, we submit the application and resume to the Center for Land-Based Learning, and they provide a ranking and they score the application, and then they submit their top applicants to the farms, and they get that process going with getting a veteran hired onto a farm. And they, the Center for Land-Based Learning gets the instructional piece together too. So that is the application process. Next slide. So you may be asking, why should I even work in agriculture? Why should I bother with an apprenticeship program? And really, in California, agriculture is a huge part. It's a huge industry in California, especially in Northern California, but also in Southern California as well. It's actually a $50 billion industry, according to the California Department of Food and Ag. So it's a huge industry with many, many jobs. And the farm and ranch management job is actually one of the highest paying jobs on the farm. So, it's definitely something worth considering. I know veterans typically like laborious activities. We're kind of groomed in that nature by the military. So it gives you an opportunity to be outside, be in nature, be, growing things. It really can give you a new purpose like it has my family. But also veterans have these transferable skills that really work very well on a farm. In terms of the managerial aspect, veterans do have a way of managing a team very well and just bringing everyone together. And we're definitely no stranger to hard work. So it's a really great fit in terms of the veteran skills that they gain from the military. But also the apprenticeship program itself, as I mentioned earlier, it provides that unique opportunity where you get the education and the experience at the same time. I know sometimes veterans want to use their education benefits, and so maybe they go straight to college right outside of the military, like I did. That's exactly what I did. And then sometimes when you're done with your college experience, you almost get treated like your military experience didn't matter. And so you kind of get treated as this new employee when really you have all of this experience. But the apprenticeship program offers that experience in this specific industry, so that when you're done with the apprenticeship program and you are an official, a certified apprentice, you have the experience and the education to back that up. So that's why you should choose ag, and that's why you should choose the apprenticeship program. Next slide. I just wanted to quickly share a 3-minute video. These are two of our veteran apprentices that just graduated in November.
My name is Bryce Wilson. I am an apprentice at Soilborn Farms. I decided to do this apprenticeship program because I felt like I needed a change of pace in my life, and I was able to find that in the peaceful nature of farming. The thing that I found most meaningful in the program was the hands-on experience. I do not think that I would have been able to learn what I know now just sitting in a classroom reading about it.
This apprenticeship has helped me exponentially in my career because it has exposed me to new experiences and helped me get a better idea on where I want to go professionally and personally. My name is Bobby Reagan, and I'm an apprentice at Soilborn. There are many resources for veterans to participate in this program. The most impactful for me was using vocational rehab and the Farmer Veteran Coalition. Vocational rehab alleviates some of the stress that a veteran may experience when taking the program. It's essentially like using your post 9/11. You can make the same BAH as the post 9/11. And the Farmer Veteran Coalition, I mean, that is just exposure to different vets that are, in ag, and they have so many different programs to help different veterans. I can't advocate enough just to reach out. There is actually a growing community, not only in California, but in the United States, actually in the world, of veteran farmers. And I wouldn't have been exposed to that if I wouldn't have been in this program.
This program has impacted me greatly as a veteran, and it's given me some peace of mind that I wasn't sure that I was able to obtain again, and so I really have benefited from the program. It has allowed me to deal with my PTSD in a constructive way, so that I'm not out there dealing with it by doing some of the trademark things like using drugs or alcohol to self-medicate. One of the resources that was particularly useful to me was the Farmer Veteran Coalition. With the help from the IVet grant, they were able to supply me with a 1 month's pay stipend during the early stages of the COVID pandemic, as well as enough money to buy myself a laptop.
I would definitely recommend this program to others because for me personally, it has given me an idea on what I want to do with my career. And if I'm being honest, the culture is really cool. Like being a part of ag and the people that are in it. I mean, you don't need to get rich to be a part of ag. I'm just saying, you get rich with people and friends and experiences. So.
You can go to the next slide, Kurt. So this is my point of contact information. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any other specific questions. Maybe you want to learn a little bit more about the program. Maybe you're not interested in the apprenticeship program and you want other information about how farmer veterans can get into agriculture. I would be happy to assist you or connect with someone who could assist you. So feel free to reach out to me directly. And thank you so much.
Lisa Marie, thank you very much. That's a lot of information, good information. So if you have any interest in the ag industry and want to become an apprenticeship and learn more about that, please contact Lisa Marie and she can get you started with that. So now we're going to go to the question and answer portion. This is a virtual. If you have any questions in the chat, we'd like to field those questions and address those accordingly. And my colleague Jen Redquist has been diligently monitoring the chat and posting all of these resources for you for your access. And she's been doing a great job. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate all the work you've been putting up in there. Any questions this afternoon?
We actually do have quite a few questions. And before I even start, I want you to know during the whole presentation, I've been putting lots of links in there for you guys and helpful other helpful information. So I want you to know that if you didn't get a chance to write it down, you can either just scroll up or down the chat to get that information, or I'm also going to save a document with all those links, and I'm going to put that in the chat for you also to download. So our first question that we have here, we have quite a few questions, which is fantastic. The first one is from Adam Frazier. It says, once you, looking at the dependent college fee waiver, Plan A and Plan B are seemingly reading the same in respect to Chapter 35 benefits. Not highlighted in Plan B, if the dependent qualifies for Chapter 35 benefits, do they also qualify for Plan B as well? Kirk?
They should qualify for Plan B just based on the dependent, or based on the rating of the service-connected disability rating. So if you have a rating of 0 to 100%, they would qualify for Plan B as well. However, under Plan B, there's an earning limit that the dependent would have to be in compliance with, which is the national poverty level. So it's right around $13,000 per year annually that they cannot be exceeding that. If you need any information further on this, please contact me or we can get more. But the Chapter 35 would be eligible under Plan A. And that one would have typically a service-connected disability, I believe, of 50% or higher, I think. So, yes, Cole.
So Plan A is for veterans who are 100% service-connected.
Right.
And under Plan A, you cannot use Chapter 35 and Plan A concurrently.
That's correct. But under Plan B, they are allowed to.
Correct. Under Plan B, you can use Chapter 35 and Plan B, but there is the income limit on the dependent child.
Right.
Plan A, if you're 100%, you can also use it as a spouse of a 100% service-connected disabled veteran or a child of a 100% service-connected disabled veteran, but you can't use Plan A and Chapter 35 at the same time.
Thank you.
And I guess the benefit of that for Plan A is that there's no income limit under Plan A for the dependent, but there is an age limit for dependent kids.
Yes, and Plan B has no age limit.
Correct. Plan B has no age limit, but there is the income limit.
Correct.
Yeah. So I also sent in the chat, if you want to, you can go back up, but I can also just redo it. The resource book is in there. And also in the chat, I have the link explaining all that under college tuition fee waiver. So the next question is, are apprenticeships paid for?
Absolutely.
That was an easy one, right? Okay.
Yes.
And then also, in the event I am in reserves and I am deployed, is there compensation during my time deployed?
So no. So I was talking with this veteran offline about that comment. So not in the trades. He was under the impression that some of the providers, or not providers, some employers will continue to pay like reservists if they get activated and deployed. The union trades won't do that. You would definitely have a place that would be waiting for you when you came back. You would not be, kicked out of the apprenticeship or anything like that. And I think there are a couple things they do where they'll pay your union dues for you. But as far as the union trades, they're not going to continue to pay you a salary if you deployed. But what they would do is they would hold your place for you. So as soon as you got back, if you wanted to, you would just jump right back in where you left off.
That's great. That's awesome. That's really good news. All
Thank
right.
you, Nick.
Thank you. The next question is, do you have a program contact information for the Bay Area? Are we required to have a GED or college degree to apply for the program? And that's from a Mac. Yeah. I went ahead and I didn't know if I was supposed to do this. I answered all of these questions, but for the group, I was just doing it while I was listening. But for the group, there are a couple of the trades. There's like 2 or 3 of them where there is a requirement like that. Most of them, there is not. I think there's like 3 or 4 trades where you have to have the GED.
The electricians, I think you actually have to have 1 semester of college level algebra. So there is a couple with some specific requirements, but the majority of the trades do not. If you can pass the drug test, if you can show up and you have an ID or paperwork that says that you can work, that's pretty much the requirement. So for the big majority of them, no, the educational piece isn't a requirement. A couple of the mechanical trades, they do require some math and stuff though.
Great. Thank you so much. So the next question is, can the CSP, Civilian Skills Program, be used with helmets to hard hats?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And from my experience, I don't think it can be. And the reason is that the CSP, one of the requirements is that the veteran or the transitioning service member is not getting paid. So if they're participating in a CSP, it means they're still in the service, and during their transition period, they're having the ability to go to some of these employers who have programs set up where they start getting an introduction to that career and they start getting some of the skills. But I have not been successful with the union trades in that effort, just because one of the requirements for the CSP is that the veteran cannot, or the service member cannot get paid until they are out. And the unions, it comes with the benefits, it comes with the pension, and they really don't have an answer for that, to have somebody in the program and not pay them. There could be the opportunity, like if your base or something was randomly near a training center, maybe they would have you come in and you could just do some observation or something like that in the evening. They might have some way they could, keep you interested. But by and large, I think the CSP is not, they can't do those things at the same time.
Good information. Awesome. Thanks, Nick.
So the next question is also to Nick. Yeah. Is the program still operating, or is it suspended in the COVID-19 lockdown period?
Still operating. Great question. Some of the trades, like I was saying, have slowed down to the point where they're either not taking applicants, or if they are, it's kind of a longer process right now, right? You have to kind of wait until they can link you up with a contractor, and something that used to take a few weeks or a month, is kind of undetermined right now because of the COVID crisis. So it kind of really depends on where you are in the specific trade you're after. Sometimes that's a hiccup, sometimes not.
So this is another question. I'm not quite sure. To own my own business, do I need to be a part of the apprenticeship program? And I think that during that time frame when this came in, it was during Issa's presentation. So I don't know if that's for Issa or for Nick, but I'm probably thinking both of you guys.
Go ahead, Issa. Go ahead and start, please.
Sure. So no, absolutely not. With the Beginning Farm and Ranch Management Apprenticeship Program, you do not have to own your business. In fact, you are expected to want to start a career in, on someone else's farm. That's kind of the goal of that program. So absolutely not for the Beginning Farm and Ranch Management Apprenticeship Program.
That's great news.
And kind of the same for us as well. You wouldn't necessarily, the apprenticeship is just there to teach you the skills. So if you already knew how to be a carpenter, an iron worker or whatever, and wanted to start your own business, actually, like Cole was saying earlier, as a veteran, there's actually some ways that you can, that process can kind of become easier for you as a veteran trying to establish your own business. But, the apprenticeship is just there for somebody who's starting out, somebody who wants to be an operating engineer, but has never done it before. So to answer your question, yes, you can start a business without the apprenticeship program. If that answers.
So this program also came in at the same time as Issa's presentation. It says, is the program in effect for seniors? I am 78 years old.
Absolutely. We take, as long as you can meet the minimum requirement of being able to lift 30 pounds as part of your regular daily work. Absolutely.
Okay. So these questions just came in. recently. It says, thank you for holding this webinar and all the helpful information. I may have missed this in the talk, but does vocational rehabilitation with the helmet to hard hats apprenticeships, do they work
Yes.
with you guys? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, in addition, and that's actually a good question that I didn't address in my presentation. Usually, it's the GI Bill benefits that are kind of used while in the apprenticeship, but voc rehab benefits apply as well. So you can collect those while in this apprenticeship.
And so so voc rehab has changed their name though to employment readiness or something to that effect. So if you're looking for vocation, if you're looking for that benefit, which I think is chapter 35 or 31, is that correct, Kirk or Cole?
Yeah, it's chapter 31.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's now called Veteran Employment and Readiness. It was formerly Vocational Rehabilitation, but now they changed the name. It's still the same acronym, VRE. So I guess that's one of the easiest ways to remember it. But it's Veteran Employment and Readiness.
Just in case you guys are looking for that. Next question is there any apprenticeship programs in IT government agencies? I guess that would be for Cole.
Not so this wouldn't really fall under like Nick or Isa Marie's purview as far as in the trades, but there are programs. The VA has a program called Vet Tech. There's also a nonprofit of veterans who are in tech called Vets in Tech. And so those are two programs that if you're interested in tech as a veteran and you want to get into IT, those are two programs, both Vet Tech and Vets in Tech, that can help kind of pay for certifications and things like that for IT, especially.
That is fantastic. That's such great news.
I think that's a future webinar.
Yes, definitely. So those are all our questions, but I want to say that in our chat, I also put in that we respect all of your feedback, and we want to improve with each webinar. We want to improve to make it the best for you guys and for your families. So if you could just fill out that survey, let us know how we're doing. Let us know if you have any type of suggestions. We value your feedback, and we will definitely, intend on implementing any type of changes that will help you guys. Another thing that I put in that link also is, if you could just go to the next slide, Kirk. I put in there our upcoming webinars, and also this webinar is recorded, and there's several other recorded great webinars that we've put out and that are on our website. So I put that also in the link for you guys to look at other webinars that you might be interested in. So we do have one coming up on the 18th, and that is for entrepreneurship. We had one on discharge upgrades. So if you don't have if you have a discharge that is not going to help you apply for some of these apprenticeships, maybe you can look at upgrading, doing those upgrades. So really great webinars out there. The benefits that Kirk went over earlier on in the presentation, we have a larger presentation with all those benefits also in there. So let me just see if we have any other questions while I was saying all that. Cole did put in the link for the vetsintech.co. And then he also put the GI Bill benefits, how to use those. And then one other thing I want to point out that I put in the, since that came up, I put the GI Bill comparison tool in there. So I think it was Nick or Isa, one of you were talking about that you can use your GI Bill benefits while you're in, and depending on where your apprenticeship is at is how much you'll get paid in that BAH. The comparison tool is really cool, but you can put in that school you're going to, and it's going to pop up with the BAH that you would be eligible for if you're using that GI Bill. So use that GI Bill comparison tool. It's a great tool for you guys, and it's through the VA website. Is there anything else you want to add? Any of our presenters?
I just wanted to say thank you for letting me present. I'm very happy to share about the apprenticeship program, and anybody can feel free to reach out to me directly if they had any other questions. So thank you.
Thank you guys. We appreciate, and we
Yes.
value your partnership, and we know that everything that you guys have sent out, it's going to explode, and it's going to, from one veteran to another veteran and so on. So thank you.
So this is CalVet's website, our phone number, and our email, as well as the CalTAP email. So any of the information that we've provided for you here today, you can access information or contact somebody. Somebody will answer this 800 number. I believe the 800 number is being directed, as Cole said, to the link coordinators right now. So you will be in contact with somebody if you call that number. As well as our CalTAP email is still being monitored while we're teleworking. So somebody will reply to you very quickly. And since we don't have any more questions, again, I want to thank all of our presenters, Nick and Isa Marie and Cole. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day today and providing this valuable information to all of our attendees. And I want to thank all the attendees for joining us again today. Thank you for your service and taking this time out of your day to gain this valuable resource. Hopefully you can access it and use it to benefit yourself or your family members.
Good luck to all of you guys, and thank you so much for your service.
And I also want to thank Jen for doing a great job in the chat and putting out those wonderful resources in the chat and access to those. So thank you all, and this will conclude our webinar for the day. And please look us up again for upcoming webinars in the future. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks.